Hey everybody, welcome back to the Thinking Crypto channel, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. Big day for the crypto market. We saw Bitcoin pull back slightly. And as I was saying in yesterday's video, we have to let this rally prove itself. But we have a Fidelity analyst weighing in on this current situation and the support level of $40,000. So we'll talk about that. In addition, Tom Emmer, Congressman Tom Emmer, who I'll be interviewing next week, he went on TV calling out Gary Gensler about not approving a Bitcoin Spot ETF. And speaking of ETFs, India is about to approve a Bitcoin ETF. This is very bullish in my opinion. We also have another country, a small country, that's going to be following El Salvador's model. Very bullish news. And we talked about this game theory. You're going to see a lot of countries start adopting Bitcoin, making it legal tender. Jack Dorsey is launching a Bitcoin mining service, and then you have also a Bitcoin miner going public. And if you're a Tezos holder, I have some bullish news about Gap, the retailer, building NFTs on Tezos, and there's some news around Propy as well as the Near protocol. So lots to go through. We'll break it all down. Before we get to it, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. It helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. If you're listening on a podcast site, please give me 5-star ratings. This video is brought to you by Algorand, which is building the future of finance. Algorand is getting significant investments and adoption. CBDCs and NFTs and other tokenized assets are being put on Algorand. You have Borderless Capital has launched a $500 million algo fund. Both Anthony Scaramucci and Michael Arrington's hedge funds have invested hundreds of millions of dollars respectively. So if you would like to learn more about Algorand, please visit algorand.com. If we look at the crypto market here, not much happening. Bitcoin had moved across $44,000 yesterday. Right now it's sitting at $42,572. So a slight pullback, and you can see that green candle we were looking at yesterday has retracted a bit. It's getting more weaker. So this is why I literally said yesterday, be cautiously optimistic. Let's see what happens. Maybe this correction and moving sideways is not over yet. And we are looking for Bitcoin to build support at the $40,000 level, like it did the $30,000 back in the summer. And then, of course, we blasted upwards from that to new all-time highs of about 69,000. Now, as I've said before, macro level, I believe we're still in a bull market. I believe there's still a blow-off top we're headed to, and that will happen in 2022. When exactly in 2022? I don't know, because I can't predict the future. But from the data, the trends, and what's happening and the analysis here, we're seeing that we have not hit that blow-off top yet. Now, Jurian Timmer, who is Director of Global Macro at Fidelity, and he's a great analyst. He's provided a lot of insights about crypto and other asset classes. He tweeted the following today. A few days ago, I made the case that 40K would be the new 30K for Bitcoin, based on the rising intrinsic value from my S-curve model. I just came across an indicator that further suggests this. Dormancy flow. It has reached the kind of oversold levels seen at past bottoms. So multiple metrics and indicators here, guys, are showing that, you know, we're hitting a bottom, but we still have a blow-off top to head to. We're not heading into a bear market, as some are predicting. Will a bear market eventually come? Of course, but after the blow-off top. He continues saying here, my understanding is that the entity-adjusted dormancy flow measures the accumulation/distribution between hot wallets and cold wallets. For example, hodlers versus speculators, and smart money versus dumb money. He said, according to Glassnode, a dormancy flow is the ratio of market cap to the annualized dormancy value. The latter measures the average number of days destroyed per coin transacted. And coin days destroyed is measured as the number of coins in transaction multiplied by the number of days held. He says, to me, this is further evidence that 40K could be a major line in the sand, much like 30K was last year. So obviously talking about summer of last year, as I mentioned before. So he provided a lot of data points, including a chart showing the dormancy flow and the S-curve demand model. And, we're finding that bottom at the 40K, guys, like we did 30K in the summer of last year. So we just got to be patient. And that is very hard for many retail investors who cannot stomach volatility. But this is why I show you guys the charts and the data. It's not my emotions, my feelings, but rather what does the data tell us? And it is pointing to, we have not hit a blow off top yet. There's still another run left, and we got to be patient. Now, let's jump into the news. Congressman Tom Emmer, who I mentioned I'll be interviewing next week. I've interviewed him before as well. Well, he went on TV on Cheddar News and said, I'm very frustrated with Chair Gary Gensler because he has not approved the Bitcoin Spot ETFs. Now, we've talked about this on the channel, that he approved the Bitcoin Futures ETF because his buddies, JP Morgan, and I should say his masters, because he's a puppet, they use these futures ETFs to manipulate assets like they did gold and silver. Go research it yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is not hyperbole. I'm not making this up. This is actual facts. So they can easily manipulate Bitcoin and the other assets. But with the spot ETF, it's physically backed. You actually have to settle in Bitcoin, right? It's not paper traded or settled in paper. So that's the difference. And it would be very bullish if a spot ETF gets approved. And after a spot ETF gets approved, we'll see an Ethereum spot ETF and all the other altcoins, right? Or at least the top 20 to 30. So something to understand why we need this Bitcoin spot ETF. So let me play the clip here for you guys.
I'm very frustrated with Chair Gensler. He is as my mother used to say, JD, he's too smart to be so stupid. All right. This is driving opportunity off our shores. And just look at the intellectual inconsistencies. You're allowing Bitcoin futures to trade, right, on the Chicago exchange. Where does the pricing come from? Well, it comes from the Bitcoin spot market. So why would you allow the one and not the other? It makes no sense intellectually. It's inconsistent. More importantly, his mission, the mission of the SEC, is to protect and promote investment opportunities for Americans. And that's not just Americans who have huge financial means to participate in our great capital markets. It's about individual investors off Main Street all across this country. And I would argue, and I believe I'm dead on right, that the actions of Chair Gensler have been anything but directed towards accomplishing that mission. In fact, he is restricting the options for American investors and driving American innovation and opportunity out of this country. I think it's Canada, believe it or not, just north of us, Canada, that has approved 3 Bitcoin ETFs, if I'm not mistaken. So he's putting America behind the 8 ball. He's putting us at the back of the line, and he should be putting us at the front. This whole government should be working to get out of the way and allow this innovation to occur, because it can mean so much to so many Americans.
So he's absolutely right. And, you talked about Canada, and we've covered the news on here. Fidelity got their Bitcoin spot ETF approved in Canada. Now, they're a US-based company, and obviously they have an international presence. But imagine this company is getting approval in Canada, and that ETF is getting listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Well, one would think, if as a US-based company, I'm not saying anything wrong with Canada or anything. I'm actually happy that Canadians can access that, but it should have gotten approved here first. And they should be trading on the New York Stock Exchange. It's just pathetic. Gary Gensler is pathetic at this point. But I'm glad he's getting called out, and different members of Congress I think they're arming themselves. Well, I shouldn't use that word because I don't want to insinuate something, but rather they're getting more of going on the offensive and really going out there on TV, on Twitter, on different other social platforms to talk about this. Because he is just, in my opinion, he's a puppet, he's bought, and he's doing the bidding of his puppet masters. And you may say dude, what are you talking about? But if you understand how money and politics work, if you look at his background and who he's meeting with and the comments he's made about banks, he's clearly trying to protect the incumbents. And crypto, it disrupts the banks. It takes money out of their investment portfolios. Now they are trying to launch their own stuff, but they don't have the full regulatory clarity yet. So this is essentially what's going on, guys. But I'm glad Congressman Tom Emmer is out there speaking the truth and calling Gensler out for who he is and what he is. So once again, I'll be interviewing Congressman Tom Emmer next week. Now, on that note, look at this news, and this is very bullish in my opinion, given India's track record and history on crypto. They're set to launch their first Bitcoin ETFs, and it says ETF, so multiple here. Very bullish. It seems like all these countries that were once, anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin are now doing a 180. And I've said it many times, guys. If they don't, their economy, their country will become irrelevant. This is the new emerging asset class. The genie's out the bottle. You better get on board or you are going to get left behind. And we've seen what disruptive technology does to countries and even companies. Just look at Blockbuster. Because they didn't adopt and innovate and evolve around the internet, they went bankrupt and they're gone. And Netflix stole their lunch, right? It could have been Blockbuster online and you could be streaming from Blockbuster versus Netflix. So you guys have seen these type of scenarios throughout history. So this is very bullish news. Now, something Michael Arrington, who I've interviewed on the channel, talked about today regarding Fidelity Digital Assets' recent report on Bitcoin and crypto, and they've talked about nation states and central banks buying Bitcoin. Now, I don't think that's far-fetched. Years ago, if you brought that up, people would say, dude, you're crazy. What are you talking about? Now we see corporates and then obviously El Salvador, they're buying Bitcoin. And game theory, one of them does it, then the others will follow suit. The dominoes are falling. Well, Michael Arrington, and I know he's a straight shooter. He knows his stuff. He puts his money where his mouth is. He has a hedge fund. He's investing. He's been buying Bitcoin since 2014. And I'm sure he knows a lot more than we do, given his position, his connections, and so forth. Well, he tweeted in response to this saying, this has actually been going on for years. At some point, central banks will publish their Bitcoin holdings. My goodness, guys, when that news comes out, good Lord, the floodgates are going to open and go crazy. This is why we have to be patient. It does take time for them to do it, but it's happening. But he's absolutely right, man. I think this has been going on for years. I've talked about it, that don't watch what they say, but watch what they do. And we're just seeing all signs point to the adoption and embracing of this asset class, starting with Bitcoin. So certainly agree with him on that. Now, check this out. Jack Dorsey, who is, of course, a Bitcoin bull, his company Block is officially building an open Bitcoin mining system. This is going to be interesting. Jack's got the money, he's got the power, he's a smart guy. He's got the infrastructure built with Square and obviously his connections to Twitter and so forth. And he really wants to make Bitcoin successful as much as possible. And so he's building some great technology and things that will help improve Bitcoin. So the financial services company has started sketching out some plans for solving the industry's most pressing pain points. So we'll see what Jack comes up with here, but I wouldn't bet against this guy. You know, some may not like him, you know, due to politics and so forth. I'm just looking at the entrepreneurial standpoint and his passion and his knowledge, of course. So I think he's working on something big. Now, speaking of big, Bitcoin miner Rhodium sets terms for IPO valuing company at $1.7 billion. Now, I've interviewed some publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies like Riot Blockchain, Marathon Digital Holdings, and more of these miners are going public. And what's interesting, they are not selling their Bitcoin. And that was one of the indicators of why I've been telling you guys this thing is not over. Because if we were headed to a bear market, trust me when I tell you, they would be selling the Bitcoin because they're still a business. They have to operate. They have overhead costs. they're holding the Bitcoin they're mining because they know higher prices are coming. They know higher demand demand will increase as the asset gets more adoption. And given the context I just gave you guys, that India just they're looking to approve a Bitcoin ETF. Michael Arrington talked about central banks and different countries around the world have been buying, and more will be buying soon. If I'm a miner, I'm holding that Bitcoin because I know I can charge a premium later on. Demand will surge significantly, and all of this is good for the entire market. I've told you guys many times, the capital flows into the market from through Bitcoin. The majority of it, not all of it, of course, flows through Bitcoin. Then it goes into the altcoins. That's how we've seen it flow, and that's just the facts. That's not my feelings or how I want it to be, but that's how the market has flowed. I've studied a lot of these charts and the data, it flows. Bitcoin pumps, then usually you have alt season that follows. That's been the pattern. So very bullish news. Here's some more. Tonga to copy El Salvador's bill making Bitcoin legal tender, says former MP. In a ruling that is almost identical to the El Salvador bill, Tongan bigwig Lord Fasua anticipates that his country could adopt Bitcoin by November of this year. This is so interesting, guys. I personally have never heard of the country Tonga, so it's certainly small. And he tweeted about it here. He says, September/October bill goes to Parliament, passed, sent to Palace Office for submission to His Majesty for royal assent. It says less than a month. HM has advised by Privy Council assents to bill. 2 to 3 weeks gazetted by government activation date set. On activation date, Bitcoin becomes legal tender. Look, guys, I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. Game theory. They're copying El Salvador's playbook, and I think many other countries will do the same. And look, you may say, well, who cares about this country? I never heard about it, and blah, blah, blah. Well, guys, these smaller countries have the most to gain. The larger players like the United States and the UK and so forth, who are, they're living in the tier 1 level of economy and GDP and currency. It's going to be hard for them to move and change. But these smaller countries who see the opportunities like El Salvador, it's going to be much easier for them to move and be nimble and make adjustments as needed. And I think this is very bullish news. Moving ahead here, Gemini, the crypto exchange founded by the Winklevoss twins, are now a one-stop shop for advisors after Bitria buy. The company acquires digital asset portfolio management platform, aiming to allow asset managers better access to the crypto space. Guys, these mergers and acquisitions and expansions are so bullish. They really speak to the land grab that's happening. All these folks are raising capital. They're making big investments. They're buying up small companies. They're buying up other companies that do certain services that they want to add to their company to, once again, to do the land grab, the bigger share of the pie, right? So this is bullish news. And Gemini, look, they're not one of the largest exchanges by volume, but they are one of the most well-rounded and secure and professional exchanges. They're a custodian. They have all kinds of stuff going on. I remember when they announced they went SOC 2 compliant, all these things. They're really making moves to position themselves more of an institutional player versus retail, but they obviously have the retail side of the business. So Gemini's global head of business development says the company now provides the industry's first full-service digital asset custodian for asset and wealth managers. This acquisition will force everyone in the crypto community to wake up and follow suit, according to Rick Edelman, founder of Edelman Financial Services. Now, if you don't know who Rick Edelman is, my goodness, he's a legend. He's a Wall Street legend. I interviewed him. If you haven't seen that interview, I'll put a link in the description. But he's massive, guys. And the fact that Gemini did this and they're working with Rick Edelman, I like it. I like it. Very bullish. Now, I still hold Tezos in my portfolio. You guys know that I've been holding it for a long time. Great thing about holding proof of stake blockchains and tokens is that you can hold on to them and earn. And I've been earning rewards on holding Tezos or XTZ. And the Gap, the retailer, many of you may be familiar with Gap, they have released their first line of NFTs on the Tezos blockchain. This is awesome. This is adoption, real world adoption, and will lead to higher prices. I'm not telling you to go buy Tezos. I'm just saying I hold it. I like this type. This is the type of news you want to see if you're holding a token. So this is awesome, guys. The company dropped a non-fungible token collection, joining a laundry list of fashion giants such as Adidas, Macy's, and Dolce & Gabbana. This is the future, my friends. NFTs, all kinds of tokenization, metaverse, and very, very bullish. So one Gap NFT currently goes for 2XTZ, or roughly $8.41 worth of Tezos as of press time. We're going to continue to see more and more of this. So if you hold Tezos, certainly want to hear what you guys think. You can certainly leave your comments in the comment section below. And speaking of coins I hold, Propy, blast from the past. I have Propy. I had it in red here on my portfolio list that I wasn't accumulating more of it because I didn't know what was going to happen. But I am bullish on Propy, and I still hold the token. And I've interviewed Natalia Karyaneva, who's the founder of Propy, a couple of times. Michael Arrington is invested in Propy, and he tweeted out today, because Propy is getting listed on Coinbase. Propy, the leader in crypto real estate, is now on Coinbase, making it much, much easier for U.S. residents to purchase and participate in the ecosystem. The company first did a token sale in 2017 and has gone from strength to strength. So I hold, once again, that Propy token. I'm not telling you to go buy it. I'm bullish on it because they are disrupting the real estate industry. And you and I know that is a prime industry to be disrupted, and it's a massive one. We're talking about housing here, guys. So Propy, if you don't know about it, go check it out. You're going to see that name more and more, and real estate is going to be disrupted, and you're going to be buying houses online. There's going to be less paperwork to sign. Things are going to be in the blockchain, titles, deeds, and Propy is going to be a part of that. Let me jump ahead here. So the Near token, I don't hold this in my portfolio, but honestly, I am looking to add it to my portfolio because of its market cap and all the investments, especially from Andreessen Horowitz, the powerhouse. And you can see it here on A16Z's website. They have it in their crypto portfolio. I will let you guys know if I take a position. Right now the price is pumping. I don't buy pumps. I'm gonna wait for a pullback, a correction, and I will look to add it to my portfolio. So if you guys are, I'll let you know when I update my portfolio. But the Near token spikes after protocol raises $150 million, led by Three Arrows Capital. Here's a quote: "We are looking forward to leveraging the funding to improve access to the blockchain technology in an ever-growing list of countries across the world," Marieke Flement, Near Foundation CEO, said in a statement. And let me give some details here. The funding will be used to accelerate its mission for helping people learn, use, and adopt Web3 technologies. The protocol has established communities in Asia, Africa, and Europe, and is aiming to expand, supporting emerging communities in Latin America, Turkey, and India, according to the blog. In 2021, the protocol said it allocated $800 million, which is now valued at $1.8 billion, to help fuel its mission to decentralize the community and help users reimagine finance. Now, the latest funding adds its $65.9 million raised so far from backers internationally, including Digital Currency Group. That's a big name, guys. That's Barry Silbert. That is Grayscale and so forth. Pantera Capital. That is Dan Moorhead. Electric Capital, Coinbase Ventures, Blockchain.com, Baidu Ventures. In total, the foundation has raised $215.9 million. So some big names investing in this. And once again, the market cap, I'm really looking at adding this token to my portfolio. If we look at it on CoinMarketCap, let's see, it's currently at $20, but you look at the the pump it's having on this news, I'm not buying that. I don't buy green candles, guys. I don't buy into the pump, right? I'm going to wait for this to correct and get into the red a bit, and then I will take a position. And of course, if everything aligns, with funds and so forth, I got to make sure I have enough dry powder on the side. So just heads up on that, guys. All right. Let me know what you guys think about this, and leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share this video, and I'll talk to you all later.